came out here to do some work, and as soon as I come in, it starts raining. So I put the garter rod on there, had to make one. Still got to adjust it a little bit. Got to adjust the top RPM. It's only going up to about 1600 now. Got to adjust it out so it'll do the full 2100 RPM. And do some tweaking on the low speed and high speed. After I put the air cleaner back on, and we should be good to go. But it's starting to rain a little bit. And then once I get that all adjusted out, I'm going to go ahead and drive it around some, and then we'll change the oil after I do that. But it's raining right now, starting to, so I'm not going to work out here in the rain. Had to go to the big city this morning to immigration to get a green card renewed. Not for me, for my wife. And she's going back to sleep now. We had to leave here about 5 o'clock to get over there. And surprisingly, there wasn't that much traffic out going there or coming home. If you listen, you can hear that water pump ringing a little bit there. Get that all done, then we'll do, in the future here, we'll do lines for the front end loader. And I got one cylinder that up front for the bucket level that's not moving, so hopefully it's just line and not the cylinder locked up. We'll see. Hopefully it's just low on fluid or nasty fluid. I'm sure the fluid in there is probably nasty. That's where the fluids in the frame here. Drain it. And we're probably going to have to do some welding on this thing. Somebody tried welding it up in several places, and it's pretty nasty looking. We'll see. I kind of don't want to use even move the loader now. The way the lines look, they're all cracked up. I don't need one of them things busted off there and flopping me in the head. I'm gonna have to put some lights up here. They had lights on there at one time. I guess they had them right here. So there's the standoffs for them. There's still on there. They got busted off or something. There's my ugly mug in the mirror there. If you look, this thing's been a bunch of different colors. I got black on the case here. I got green up here. Fenders are red. Starter was yellow. This wheel over here is yellow. That wheel's red. Everything else is red. Massive Ferguson red. So I don't know if it's going to rain or not. It stopped raining already. I guess it was just a couple of drops. It looks a little overcast out. Going to have to adjust the brakes on this thing. This brake over here goes almost all the way down. That brake's pretty tight. So I have to adjust the shoes and the drum there and see how it goes. Take the slack off the brake rods and readjust them, especially this left one. It slows it down a little bit, but it sure still ain't as good as the right one. right one's pretty tight right there. Left one's all the way down. Okay. Well, I guess it ain't gonna rain. Let me see if I can get this governor adjusted. Okay, that was our old governor rod that somebody had put in there. It was about, I don't know why they welded this section in there. It was about maybe 2 inches too long. And the slotted arm on the back of the carburetor that this goes to, they had it laying almost all the way like this at this angle here. So it really didn't pull, and when it did pull, it hit the manifold. Okay, it's really starting to rain now. So that's it for this part one. We'll do the rest of it when it quits raining. I got other stuff to do anyway. Got to reline that gas tank over there off of that Honda. I wish people would listen. You know, I have to treat that gas tank, and he already painted it after I told him not to paint it yet, because I have to pressure test it too. But that's another story. There's our air filter housing. Okay, I'm getting wet now. So this will be part one. I'll do part two later. If you like my content, subscribe, comment, share, all that jazz. Any pointers on this thing, shoot them out to me. There's our new rod back in there. You can see it. I just did a piece of cold roll steel, and cut threads on it, 1/4 threads for those heim joints. Just use two of the same heim joints. I was going to use a shifter off a Harley, big twin, but I couldn't find it in my pile of junk metal. So I just bought cold roll and cut a new one. Now that's when you're doing those, I just use a piece of 1/4 inch cold roll and a 1/4 die to cut it with. I'm going to be an adult here and assume that everybody knows how to use a tap and die set. You know, you get the die started. When it starts cutting threads, you turn it about a 1/4 turn at a time, and then back it off, and then back to where it was, and then 1/4 turn more, and then back again, to so you're actually cutting the threads off and relieving any chips. Otherwise, you're just gonna jam up the die with chips, and use a good lubricant. You can use Tap Magic. If you don't have Tap Magic, use a heavier oil like gear oil or something in there. Gear oil works good. That's on steel. If you're doing something out of aluminum, you can use kerosene or still use Tap Magic. I used to use this Castrol stuff that was kind of nasty, smelled really bad, stain your hands black. It was horrible stuff, but it sure did cut good. I don't remember the name. It was Castrol Tap something or other. Can't remember it. Looked really old, like they've been making it forever, and it smelled worse than rotten gear lube. It's a smell that would stay with you. It'd smell worse than diesel oil. But it worked really good. All right, it's still raining. I'm waiting for my shed. I ordered a 18 by 20, 18 by 21 carport kind of looking thing to put over on the other side of this thing here. The price of wood's outrageous. We could have just done another lean-to off the other side, but truth is, carport was a little bit cheaper than wood right now. I don't know what wood is going for where you are, but here it's super high. Even if you're trying to get use leftover wood, like most of this was old leftover wood we got from somebody taking stuff down. They want to charge you big money for it. It's economics, man. You know, if you can get the money for it, that's what they want to charge. I got a mess in here. I need to build, move this stuff around, get it out of here, something, build higher shelves. Just got too much stuff. Got to work on my old wood chipper here. The motor on it. It had, when we got it, it had the motor on there, but it was left open with no carb or manifold on it, and the spark plug was out of it. We don't know how long it had been out there. It had good compression, but had a little 6 horsepower Subaru motor that ran, so we just slapped it on there, and it worked good. Just a little bit smaller than horsepower than what it needed for this chipper. And then got industrious over last winter or early in the spring, and ordered a new carburetor and a new manifold for that Briggs and Stratton 10 horsepower or 11 or whatever it is. Brand new carburetor, put it on there, fired right up. But as soon as you shut it off, start dumping gas out the front of the carb, and kind of stopped right there. Didn't really need the chipper at that time. Just keeping busy, and it had been sitting ever since. So it's cooling off now in the daytime to a normal level. So we'll get out here, or I'll get out here and mess with it to get it set right. Float's probably wrong on it, set wrong, something. It was brand new float. Gas tank's completely clean. Got a filter, 2 filters in the system. Still, just turn the gas on, it dumps out the front of the carburetor. We'll mess with that. Tiller works good. And gonna have to use it for too long. Getting ready to put winter stuff in here. Need to till this under. We'll do that. I'll put some collards in and cabbages and probably some kale and maybe some beets. It's cool enough for that. And gotta be careful out here. Started having snakes showing up out here. Went to move something the other day, and there's a little snakey curled up in a little striking position. I didn't see it. The wife came running in the house telling me, there's a snake, there's a snake. Of course, I come outside, it's gone. You know, they're scared, more afraid of me than I am of it. Which is funny. I had a friend of mine in Texas, had a problem. He's got a fairly big garage out there, does flat track bikes, builds flat track bikes for flat track racers like XR 750s. And he had a problem with snakes one time, telling me that he went out the garage and was moving something. There's rattlesnakes in his garage, so he's going to get rid of them. So he got some kind of snake stuff, snake away or something like that, and put it all along the perimeter of his property. Now that's expensive right there. That stuff ain't cheap. But he said what happened was it trapped all the snakes that were already in there inside, so they wouldn't leave. So he had to go around trying to find snakes and kill them. Which is, you know, that's fine. Got to do what you got to do. Can't be out there working and worrying about every time you move something or lift something up, there's a rattlesnake under there. Now, we don't have rattlesnakes here, at least I've never seen one, not in this part of the state. Got plenty of other ones, got copperheads and cottonmouths, water moccasins. But rattlesnakes pretty rare over this side. You go west of us here quite a bit, and that's when you start running into them timber rattlers. All right, at this point, I'm just rambling on. So, anyway, it's kind of sort of raining and kind of sort of not. It keeps raining and then stopping. So, I got other stuff to do. this is the end of part one. I'll do part two later on. Maybe later today, maybe tomorrow, I don't know. Depends on if it actually rains or not. It looks like it is, kind of, sort of, and then it stopped again. So I might actually try and throw this stuff on here. Anyway, this was part one. Part two to follow. Thanks. Have a good weekend.